does truth exist? Does morality exist? Is the family important to society? Is the Constitution a good document to look to? Is America a good place to live? Is freedom essential for human flourishing? What's really driving us apart is our fundamental disagreements. Those high-level complex disagreements that we have about gender, immigration, race, culture, identity politics, intersectionality, all of these things. Yes, they're complicated, but they're not primarily what is driving us apart. What's driving us apart is our fundamental disagreements. Americans have always disagreed on certain policy things, certain cultural things, but we have fundamental disagreements that we're having a very hard time getting past. Fundamental disagreements like, does truth exist? Does morality exist? Is the family important to society? Is the Constitution a good document to look to? Is America a good place to live? Is freedom essential for human flourishing? And of course, as conservatives, we say yes to all of those things, of course. But those aren't things that we can take for granted anymore. Those are some real disagreements that we have that are driving us apart. Because the left, in general, not everyone on the left, but in general, the left would say, well, no, actually, America isn't that great of a place to live. We are riddled with inequality and injustice. And no, freedom it's not necessary for human flourishing. Actually, it's more important that the government takes care of you. Freedom is not really a high priority. The Constitution, well, look what happened with the Constitution. We had slavery and Jim Crow. The Constitution's not a good document. They say, family, it's not that essential to a healthy society. They say truth, relative. Morality, basically, whatever I think. Those are the basic disagreements that we have that we can't seem to come together on. And that has really happened majoritively over the past 10 years. And conservatives, all we're doing is saying, whoa. Are you sure that that's the path that we want to go down? Are you sure we want to throw out all of these things on which Western civilization, the best civilization in all of human existence, is built on, that America was built on and has thrived on? Do we want to throw away those things? We look at these things that the left wants to throw out, like absolute truth, and say, well, absolute truth actually does exist. Morality in some sense does exist. Even if it's some vague idea, it does exist. If it doesn't exist, then you don't have any right to feel slighted when someone steals from you. You don't have any right to feel outrage about human rights violations that are happening in North Korea or something like that. But you do. And the reason for that is because in the human heart is this feeling of right and wrong. We all have some kind of moral compass. Throughout human history, there's always been some kind of sense of justice and injustice. Injustice being some form of corruption of power or manipulation or deception. Justice taking care of, in some way, the least of these, making sure there is equity and equality. We've all had some kind of idea of that. So of course, absolute truth and morality exists. They say, well, the family isn't essential to society. Well, okay, let's look at the facts on that. Well, 1 in 4 kids lives in a home without a father, and we know that fatherlessness in general leads to delinquency. It leads to teen pregnancy. It can, not always, but it can lead to greater instances of poverty, of not graduating from high school. And those individuals make up communities. Communities make up society. So actually, the family, having a mom and a dad raise children, is very important to society. Okay, so we know that that's not right. The Constitution is the greatest document in human history because it's guaranteed freedom, which makes America the greatest country in the world, the only country that has dedicated its time to freeing both our allies and our enemies. So we know that that's not true. So all of these fundamental things that we disagree with or that we disagree on is really driving us apart. And all conservatives are doing are backing up and saying, are we sure we want to go there? Are we sure that we want to throw these things away? Because humans have really thrived on these truths for a long time. The problem is they don't want to have that conversation.